Yeah, yeah. I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I won't complain. I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days. And some sleepless nights. But all of my good outweigh my bad days. I won't more than this world could ever be. So I'll just say thank you. I'll just Hello, everybody. This is Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. I know you probably came to my website twice and say, are we having church? But I'm just so grateful to God for what He's done in my life. And when I was listening to this song earlier today, I just wanted to put it down because I'm grateful for the things that He's done. And this is the year for me to be grateful, regardless of what's going on in my life. I'm grateful. You know, I used to sing in a nightclub, and people would be throwing money at me, to sing. And I'm just grateful that God has changed my life. And when I came out of the nightclub, I never went back. And I'm grateful for that. And so I know that we're going through a lot of things, all of us as a nation, as a family, with what's going on in our world. But I want to come back and just to reiterate how important it is for us to stick together, help each other, and be supportive to each other. I told the last time, I talked about rather the last time about, how we should come and be one. I might not have said it in that word or tone, but we have to look out for each other now. And with me being disabled or having a disability, I kind of see the world through another spectrum, and I be laying in the bed and I be praying for those people that are on oxygen, homebound, in the bed, can't get around, and just praying that God would just help them and allow someone to come in and be there for them. And it's not just those of us with disabilities, but those of us who have families. And even if we don't have families, it's just what's going on in the world now can be very scary. But if we allow God to control our emotions, I believe that we will be better off. Talking to some different people, um, fear is a normal and natural emotion. It's like cortisol. It's like what it does is the adrenaline pumps cortisol into the body, and it causes us, it's like fight to flight. In other words, danger is ahead. And I'm trying to explain this the best way that I can. And so when something looks unfamiliar to us, a lot of times we will automatically um, take on fear, stress, and anxiety. And I just wanted to come back and just let us know, there's some things that we can do. First of all, if we're watching too much news, um, I'm not saying don't watch the news, but if you're watching something that's going to constantly keep your emotions uh, in a high rage, or you're just uptight a lot because of what you're seeing, maybe you should consider not watching as much so that you could calm down and so that our nerves could just come on down. I know that I'm a nervous person, and I try to be careful with the things that I put in front of me, the things that I watch. Another thing is there's teas. There's different teas, chamomile. You could just go to the health food store or go online, and there's things that can calm our emotions down. One real good thing that I found is breathing, taking deep breaths, and just letting your mind relax and stop thinking about what's going to happen, because a lot of this stuff that's happening, we can't do anything about anyway. So if I can't do anything about it, then I need to try to center my thoughts and my emotions around something that is productive. Also, laughter. Laughter is good. You might say, well, what is there to laugh about when I've lost my job and I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, um, and all of this is true. I got credit cards that are maxed out. I got children that need to eat. I can't find the foods that I'm looking for to feed my family. I need diapers. I need milk. And when the need is so overwhelming, it will cause us to have high stress levels. And I'm not saying that I understand what you're going through, because I don't. But I'm just saying there's some ways that we could consider to try to bring our stress levels down so that we're not in a panic state of what's going on in this world. When this first thing started, I had, and I think I told you, I'm not sure if I did, I had some eggs in my refrigerator. I had some yogurt and some milk out that was almost to expire, and then I had vegetables and stuff in my freezer. But that's basically all I had, because I shop once a month. So it caught me off guard as far as food. Now I keep water because I drink a lot of water. So I can get 4 to 5 cases of water in 1 month. And so I just got them all at one time, not knowing this was going to happen. And so there was things that I needed, and I didn't know how I was going to get them. And then I said, oh, I'll just do it like I normally do, go online and order them, only to find out that going online, every time I would order, they would send me an email over and tell me that my order had been canceled because they were out of food. And so they were out of the stuff that I ordered. Then I went to another store and I tried to order online there and I couldn't get anything else. So I went to three stores trying to find food and online. Why online, Dorcas? Because I can't stand long. I can't stand long. I don't have a car. So everything that I've been doing has been online. And it wasn't that I didn't have the money. It was that I couldn't do it. So I was trying to figure this thing out on my own. And sometimes we have to open and broaden our spectrum and broaden where we are and let somebody in. And so that's what I did. I started looking online to see if there were things for senior citizens. And I found one place. And so I called them. And I'm talking about stress now. I called them and I wanted to know was there any way that I could get grocery? Well, the man that was waiting on me or taking the intake or whoever he was very rude to me. And I thought, wow, he was like, well, do you really need it? And I was saying, yeah. And I could understand because people have been taking stuff they don't need. And I said, yeah. And I had told the man, I said, in the very beginning, I said, it's not that I don't have the money. I said, it's just that I can't find the food. And so, and I was asking them, was there some type of resources that I could tap into so that I could get food for my house? And so we went round and round, and he was telling me, well, people need this more. Some people need this more than others, and I need to make sure that you really need this. What do you have in your house? And I told him, and I think it was just tone. It wasn't that he couldn't question me because I had no problems with him questioning me if I call him. And I told him, I said, sir, I have money. I just can't get food. And so it made me kind of upset. I went through with the whole process, and then he said, well, somebody will be getting back in touch with you. And so I said, okay, thank you, sir. And I hung up, and I said, I don't want to take from nobody. I've never, ever taken something from somebody else. I have a business, and at the end of the year, even though I'm not doing business, I have people that are sitting on my server. And I ask God at every end of the year, God, have I taken advantage of anybody? I'm not that kind of person. And so, I was kind of, Dorcas, you got some dried beans up there and you got a couple other things. And so I called my nephew and I said, can you find me some rice? And so he came and he brought the rice, and I called the man back, called the people back, and I told him, could you just cancel the order? I said, thank you very much. My nephew came through for me. Why am I telling you this? Sometimes when we're looking for stuff, it can be overwhelming. And then I see senior citizens waiting outside at 6 o'clock in the morning to get in the stores to only find out that the stores are not stocked. And so I had to open and broaden my horizon. I had to open up to my family and let them know, this is what's happening. And so when I began to let them know what was really going on with me, my friend had called me, she told me, Dorcas, I'm looking for stuff, and if I find me something, I'm going to get you something. And I said, okay. And then I just began to share with people, I only got a little bit of eggs, and then the next thing I know, they were bringing me eggs. I got two things of eggs. I mean, they were just bringing me all different kind of foods, and just my family was bringing me food and making sure that I had what I need. And Dorcas, do you have what you need? And then a friend of mine from California, she called me and said, Dorcas, have you been to your mailbox? And I said, no. And she said, I know you haven't. And I said, why? And she said, because I have a check out there for you. A check for what? And she was just, I just want you to have a check, Dorcas, because you take care of everybody else, and we want to make sure that you're taken care of. And I said, wow. So I went to we went to the mailbox Sunday, uh, and when I went there, there was the check. And I was just grateful to God for how He will supply if we just calm down and let people in our world. If people know that we don't have, that we have been loyal to as friends or family, I'm telling you, they will come through. And so then what happened was the Monday, and today is Tuesday. I was in my room and I had my ringer off on my phone, and so my friend was trying to call me, another friend from California, and when I called her back, she's like, "Dorcas, where were you?" And I said my ringer was off, and so she said, "I put some money in your account." Now, what I'm trying to say is it might not happen like that for you or for somebody else. But I promise you, if you just ask God to supply your need and help us to calm down and allow people into our world that love us, that are concerned about us, they'll come through. And I wasn't expecting them to come through like they came through. And I was telling somebody, I really learned something through this process because I'm the kind of person, I had the money to get what I needed to get. That's what I've always did. And so now I got the money to get what I need to get and I can't get it. So it's not all the time that if you got money you can get what you're looking for, because I'm sure that most of you or most of us that went into the store had money to buy what you wanted to buy. When you looked on the shelves there was nothing there. And this is the time, and I keep saying that we need to rally around each other, and I don't think it's so much pride. And it might be, I don't know. But I think it's so much, I think it's sometimes, it's just the way that we do things. And because I called the man looking for food, wanting to know how to do it. If I was proud, I wouldn't have called. But I was looking for some food. It wasn't that I was desperate. He asked me, how much food do you have? I said, for about another week. And I wasn't lying to the man. I don't practice lying. And I told the man I had money, but I just couldn't get it. And I can't go out to the store. And I had ordered some food out of the health food store. And that, I got some stuff in there in the refrigerator. And the lady was telling me, she went shopping for me. I had somebody go pick it up. And she was telling me, oh, you should try this. And oh, you should try that. And I got this stuff in my refrigerator. I have no clue what it is. I mean, really, when I got to spend $90 and I got stuff in the refrigerator and I said, hey, but I'm going to eat it because, you know, we don't know where we're going in this. But I believe that if we rally around each other and if America will turn to God, God release this country so that the people can go back to work, so that the economy, see, it's not just food, but it's our economy that's being affected. And so these are things in families that are middle class families and people that are poor. These are things that are happening, and we need to be concerned, not just about ourselves, like I said, but about somebody else. And maybe we're not eating what we used to eat. That's why I put that song there in the beginning, I Won't Complain. Because you might not be able to have yogurt with nuts in it. But if you got some grits, or you can't have brown rice, all Chris could find was some white rice. It's just still sitting in there. But God will supply the needs so that we don't go hungry. And the thing that I'm so grateful about, now that I'm getting ready to talk about weight, is that from 2015 till now, I have lived a disciplined life. And so I'm used to eating foods that are healthy and reading labels and stuff like that. So I don't eat a lot of stuff that I'm eating now, but I'm eating in proportion to the way that I used to eat. So I'm in a discipline. That's what I'm saying. And sometimes, too, what we have to do, we have to discipline ourselves. We can't just eat till we just so full, or we can't just get everything we want right now. I believe that God is also bringing this country into a discipline. We have so much. And yet sometimes we give so little. Sometimes we're so self consumed. And now I believe it's time just that we could just come together as a family. And whatever God blesses us with, let's don't complain. Let's be grateful. And I'm telling you, grateful opens up the windows of heaven. Somebody called me today and they said, Dorcas, how are you doing? A lot of people have been calling me. I said, I'm living in the overflow. You're living in the Yeah, I'm living in the overflow because every day somebody's bringing something. And I'm going to tell you that something as little as bananas. My niece came here from after work on yesterday, and she came in the house and with this food for me. She bought me some stuff, and I said, "Girl, is that bananas I see?" And she said, "Yeah, Auntie." And I said, "I was just telling God this morning, I sure wish I had some bananas for my oatmeal." And then I said, "Oh no, God, that's all right. At least I got oatmeal." So different things that we might be accustomed to that we're not able to get right now. If we be thankful, I believe that God will supply all needs because He's faithful. And I'm grateful for you all. I'm grateful for the lady that came to my house and she was very overwhelmed and just crying. And that's why I know there's a lot of brokenness out there right now. People are having to move and different things are happening in people's lives. And so that's why I really am committed to prayer. I'm an intercessor. I've been praying for over 30 some years since I came out of the nightclubs. And so I pray for you. I pray for the people that come to my Dorcas Gazelle. And I know it's different now, but times are different. And so I'm trying to share even about weight, but at the same time, I'm trying to let us know that we need to consider, or we should consider, I should say, maybe coming into a discipline. Maybe saying, I'm not going to be drinking water, bottled water, and just leaving it around and don't drink it. You drink so much and then you don't drink. Then you wait and you leave it, and you eat so much and then you leave it. And we don't have to eat everything at one time. If we come into a discipline and then start disciplining our mind to stress and things that we cannot do anything about, it's not easy. I'm not saying it is. Because when I had the stuff in the refrigerator, the little stuffed eggs and one yogurt, I was wondering, well, what am I going to do? Especially when I got off the phone with that man. When I got off the phone with that man, I had more stress than I did before I called him because he helped me create stress by making me feel like I was trying to take something from the government. I want nothing from the government. I always try to do my part. And I'm not saying that he might not have even been thinking that, but it was his tone. And so what that did was it made me. I never want to put blame statements on nobody. I was the one that took in the stress and was wondering what I was going to do. And that night I was like, oh my God, just those eggs and yogurt and some beans up there. What are you going to do, Dorcas? So then I created the stress for myself. Now, I could say he did it. No. Anything you let somebody else do to you is still you doing it. So, and I was grateful that, if somebody else could get help, that's good. But God supplied for me. I have more than enough. I'm living in the overflow. I'm not gloating. I'm not being proud about it. But I'm just telling you that if we could just try to bring our stress levels down. And you can even go on Google and go to YouTube, and there's all kind of there's music that can calm you down. Just go out there, how to handle stress. We have answers right in our hand. So we don't have to be so stressed out, and you don't have to pay nobody to find out what you need to do. Find out who you are, what you're going through, and what you need. We need to calm our stresses and don't let the media keep pumping stuff in us. You know, I go out to my banking account and there's the corona. You know, I go to my emails and there's the corona. I pick up my phone and, you know, it's just something in our face all the time. And we have to be careful what we allow in our spirit, because it's not what goes in us that defiles us, it's what comes out of us. So if we're allowing stress in, then stress is going to come out. So let's just be careful with the stress if we can. Just consider that, and so that we can live a healthy and productive life. And I believe that this too shall pass. I believe it shall pass. But while we're in it, then we need to learn how, or not we need to. We need to consider our ways and what we're going through, because we don't want to get sick just because of stress. We don't want to have heart attacks just because of stress. And we don't want to be evil to people just because of stress. I hope that helped. And I hope my song at the beginning, you know, I'm in a church setting, yeah, and you can hear the people, you know, I'm singing, and I love to sing. Like I said, I used to sing in a nightclub, but then I switched partners. I changed from singing in nightclubs, people throwing money at me. I switched to Jesus, and I tell you, He's the best thing that have ever happened to me. Okay, I love you. You guys know that I'm praying for you. I really am. I get a lot of YouTube people that come to my website. Not really that many hits on YouTube, because most of the people come to my website. So I do get a lot of hits, and I'm grateful for you all. I'm praying for families all over the world. Let's just not pray for America. Let's pray for families all over the world. Okay, I think that's it. You all be blessed and you have a wonderful day. And remember, let's try to control our stress level. Get on Google. It's there. You don't have to pay a dime for it. Just music. There's just a lot. Breathing techniques. Just stuff to bring our blood pressures down and lower our stress. I love you. This has been Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. Hey, if nobody told you that they love you today, guess what? I love you. Bye-bye. Yeah, yeah. I've had some weary days. And some sleepless nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I won't complain. I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days. Some sleepless all of my
So I'll just say thank you.